Hello my friends, I'm going to share with you today how you make fermented pickles. This is what my grandmother used to do, so I'm going to follow her method. First of all, the pickles that you use, some of these are out of my greenhouse, some others I bought at the local farmer's market. But you want to make sure that you get pickles that weren't covered with a wax coating. So if you go to the grocery store and there's pickles, you want to make sure that it says that it's or cucumbers, that it's for making pickles. The cucumbers that are not designated that way will have a wax coating on it, and you can't have the wax coating to make pickles. Okay, the first thing that I do is the blossom end of the cucumbers, I cut those off. There's supposed to be an enzyme that is on that end, and it keeps the pickle from getting real crisp. The other thing that helps pickles keep its color is you put some leaves in the batch that you're going to make. And the leaves that you can use, at least the ones that my grandmother always used, she either used horseradish or grape leaves. She used grape leaves a lot. She had a large grape patch right behind her house. And the horseradish I just picked out of my garden, and we're having a real rough year with the weather, and it's really wet, and it was loaded with slugs and snails. So I kind of removed them. I'm just making sure that they're still not on here. What you want to do is line the container with the leaves, and I put a layer on the bottom to start with. And I also go around the perimeter. So these long leaves from the horseradish just bend right around and kind of holds to the side. Okay, and then you start laying your pickles. Well, some of these are too long. I'm just going to cut them in half. And I'll make a layer of pickles, or cukes. And you got to identify the blossom end. You just need to nick just the ends of them off. I'm using a crock. My grandmother always had crocks. This I picked up in a second-hand store, and I only paid $2 for it, which is a great price because I know they sell them for a lot more. My grandmother's crock, she would do the pickles on her back porch outside. And I remember always seeing she'd have a plate on top or a board weighted down with a brick or a stone, big heavy stone, to keep the pickles underneath. Okay, after you get a layer of cucumbers on the bottom, then you want to start adding a few spices. Here I have garlic that I already taken the skin off, and here's one. I always like a real wide chef knife, and because that gives me a little lever there for smashing things, and that's the easiest way to get that little shell off. There's another one. Then you want to add some spices, and this is peppercorns. And probably when you're done, maybe like a tablespoon of them. Might be overkill, but I like the spice. And once you get a layer, then I want to save a few leaves. Then you can put some leaves over top and do another layer. Sometimes it's hard to tell which end it had the blossom on it. That's another layer, but I'm going to finish. I only have 4 left. Just add the rest of the garlic. And this is dill seed, and we want dill pickle, so I'm going to add about a tablespoon of that. And I also have saved some dry dill. Don't need the leaf, so we're going to stuff that in there. Some more peppercorns. And then, to kick it up a few notches, I had dried some cayenne peppers. And I'm not going to put this handful in. I know just a couple of them. I'll put about 4 in there. That'll really kick it up and it'll give it a little bit of spice. Okay, then I'm down about 3 inches to the surface. Then you want to make a covering of the leaves. You can see here how big the, right there. We don't want that one in there, that's a slug. Notice I'm not washing my leaves. Those slugs aren't poisonous. I don't know anybody that ate one. Yes, I do. The neighbor kid ate one. It was horrible. Didn't kill him. It left his teeth with a slimy yellow on them. Okay, once you have this filled and I have it covered, now you want to add a brine, and what you need is about a half a cup, and I'm using sea salt, half a cup of sea salt to a gallon. So I already mixed half of one up, so this is the second half. That was a quarter cup, and this is a half a gallon right here. And pour this over. If there's any slugs in there, they're not going to survive the salt bath. And right here is my second half. You want to make sure you have enough brine solution to cover all the pickles, all the cucumbers. Not pickles until we're done here. All this salt's not okay, a gallon. There's still a little bit left. And now what we have to do is weight this down. leaves a little bit around the perimeter. And then it's completely submerged, and then I'm going to just leave this over top. And let me give you a close look here. And this is what she's looking like. Well, the only thing left to do is wait. It'll take about a week for this to work, and in a week's time they should be just about ready. So it might be a little bit more. As this is working, wait maybe a couple days and then check it, and you should see it's starting to a little bit of fermentation or bubbling, and there may be like a whitish scum that comes to the top. You can skim that off. That won't hurt you, but you can be skimming that off, and just keep checking on it in about a week's time. After it's done, the pickles should be crisp, they shouldn't be soggy, and they should have the good pickle flavoring. The advantage of eating fermented foods, you should be eating about a quarter cup of some type of fermented food daily for the probiotic that's in there. I used to make pickles with the canning method, with the vinegar and the salt, but there's no probiotic in those, so you're not getting the health benefit of a real fermented pickle. So fermented pickles, they've been doing it for probably hundreds of years, and it's one of your healthiest foods for your digestive system. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching, my friends. Bye-bye.